Chosen one, listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because right now, even as you walk through the midnight storms and press through daytime crowds, there is a mystery moving in your bones and your spirit that they cannot explain, and it's this. God has set something peculiar upon you, a power that slows the clock, a divine force that holds back what age tries to do to the body and the soul. Let me show you the 3 reasons you age slower, spiritually and physically, than the rest. Right now, even as you breathe these words, the effects are manifesting quietly but unbreakably. Let me tell you what's happening first. The hand of preservation is upon you. You stand in rooms where the air feels heavy, where disappointment hangs like a weight. And yet, when others crumble under the pressure, you don't. When the stress should be showing up on your face, in your joints, in your posture, marking you with the same lines and aches the world expects after what you've been through. Somehow, you're still moving, still rising. You see people your age or younger looking weary, looking spent, their eyes clouded with too much loss and too little hope, and you wonder why you're not falling apart like them. You remember the nights you should have cracked, the seasons when sorrow should have shrunken your frame and drained your light. Let me tell you the truth. They don't know how many all-nighters you've survived, how many betrayals you've absorbed, how often lack stared you in the face. But God has built a resilience in you not just to bounce back, but to be untouched by the decay that's common to man. Not just to recover, but to keep what others lose. Not just to survive, but to look younger, stronger, more settled, almost untouched by the storm. It's not your skincare, not your supplements, not that regimen they keep asking you for. It's the preservation of heaven resting on you like oil. Let me take you into the second reason, and don't miss this. Joy is your weapon even when you don't feel it. There's a joy threaded through your suffering, a light that refuses to die. When depression tried to camp at your door, when grief dug its claws into your chest, something inside you groaned but would not surrender. Others get uprooted by these storms, wrinkles growing deeper, energy evaporating, posture shrinking under burdens. But you, right now, you have access to a well that doesn't run dry. Even at 3 in the morning, when you're wide awake in a silent room, mind racing, chest tight with the anxiety that won't let go, your body tries to break down. You feel the tingling in your hands, the shallow breathing, the ache in your muscles that keeps you from real rest. You scroll your phone for an answer. You take something that's supposed to knock you out. You pray until your throat is raw. Nothing works. The sun creeps up and you expect to look in the mirror and see a trace of last night's torment, but somehow your eyes stay clear. Your skin holds its firmness. There's a tiredness, yes, but you stand up straighter than they expect. Even here, your joy is fighting for you. Not just the joy of laughter, but the joy of knowing God's not done with you yet. The assignment on your life is active, so the wear and tear cannot claim you. The enemy tried sorrow, shame, self-doubt, tried to mark you up and wear you out, but it failed to steal your glow. Not just to feel good, but to look good. Not just to escape depression, but to carry youth in the midst of it. Not just to recover after the pain, but to move through pain and shake off what should have settled. That's why you baffle them. They think it's fake. They think you're hiding something. But they don't see that your joy is about survival, about rebellion against the aging of the world. Now listen. Let me break this last one down for you, because this is the heartbeat. The assignment isn't over. That's the third reason you move slower through the ravages of time. You have unfinished business with destiny, so God's calendar for you is not set by men. Others collapse under the hopelessness of their expiry date. They start dying while they're still breathing. Their eyes lose the spark, their future loses momentum, and their faith shrinks. But you, the chosen one, heaven is keeping you fresh, sustaining your body because your spirit is not finished. As you hear these words, every setback, every detour, every silent betrayal you suffered was meant to thin you out, to make you older than your years, but instead it brought a new layer of protection around your vision. When people left you, when opportunities dried up, you were supposed to shrivel in relevance, shrink in favor, disappear from the conversation. But right now you're seeing late bloomings, new doors, invitations they said were impossible. You're walking into rooms you didn't knock on. You're saying yes to things you thought you'd lost the energy for. Your skin recovers, your mind recovers, your legs keep moving. You wake up morning after morning not because you found some magic, but because heaven's not finished using you. The old prophet said it. Your youth is being renewed like the eagles, not just as a poetic metaphor, but in real time, cell by cell, circumstance by circumstance. Assignments suspend decay. Purpose overrides statistics. They cannot calculate your timeline because they don't know what's written about you. Let me take you even deeper into how it feels at 3 a.m. when you're alone, and your age tries to catch up with you. The panic sneaks in subtle. Your heart kicks up. The room shrinks. Your joints crack when you roll over in bed. You're wide awake and you keep checking the clock, desperate for 1 hour, just 1 hour of real sleep. You try to slow your breathing, drink water, make your mind blank. But stress keeps running riot. The unpaid bill, the news, from the doctor, the friend who ghosted you, the door that slammed shut today before you walked through. You stare at the ceiling, you replay the last month, you wonder if maybe now you're finally breaking down. Maybe this is the morning you'll see it in your face. The lines deepening, the hair thinning, the energy gone. Darkness presses on your chest. You Google symptoms, you pray for relief. You try to talk yourself out of the dread. You reach for the medication, the remedy, the warm milk. Nothing touches the panic. Hour after hour, the weariness grows, but sleep stays far. By 5 a.m., your body is shaking. You sit on the edge of the bed and wait for the light, hoping the worst is over. But as the sun creeps through the window, something inside you remembers. You've survived this before. You wash your face. You see your own eyes staring back at you in the mirror, tired but not destroyed. You still look younger than what you've been through. There's a strength in your shoulders, a brightness in your gaze that wasn't there a decade ago. Last night tried to steal your youth, to stack another year on your bones, but it failed. Morning came and you're still here, unaged, unbowed. Not just surviving night after night, but resisting what those nights try to do to you. That's what they don't see. The real damage should show, but it doesn't stick to you. Every dark hour only polishes the shine. Let me tell you what happens when divine preservation takes over. Your resources outlast the pressure. The bills come, but the means to pay them doesn't dry up like they expected. Even when finances get tight, they don't collapse the way they do for others. Your relationships stay stronger. Disconnects heal. New allies appear. Old friends suddenly call back, willing to build again. Your health holds steady when others are running from doctor to doctor. Results surprise the experts. Recoveries come out of nowhere. What should have been chronic disappears without a trace. In your calling, platforms others try to sabotage bounce back. New opportunities find you without you chasing them, and the public eye finds you looking better. Not just cosmetically, but with an authority and freshness that can't be faked. Spiritually, where others become bitter and hard, you get softer, clearer, more hungry for what's real. Your prayers have new force. Your discernment sharpens. And favor? Let me tell you, doors open shut to everyone else. You are remembered, recommended, restored in circles that forgot you. Not accidents, not good luck, preservation, joy, and unfinished assignment at work. Now I speak this over your life. They wanted to see you age, but heaven ordered your renewal. They set the clock against you, but God reversed the countdown. They hoped your face would mirror the pain. Instead, your countenance reflects peace. They tried to break your body, your strength only got more undeniable. They wrote you off as past your prime. You emerged with purpose, exploding now, again and again. They planned to outlast you. You became the last one standing. They bet on your decline. Heaven dealt you another round of increase. They whispered your eulogy, but God announced your awakening. They marked your ending, but you crossed a new beginning. Suddenly, overnight, now. Let me show you what it really means for everything to reverse. For the script to flip so violently that even your enemies have to scratch their heads, watching as everything they assign to you comes tumbling back on their own heads. Chosen one, there's a shift in the atmosphere around you, so quiet the world barely notices, but so loud in heaven that every angel stands alert right now. This is when the worn out are renewed, when the counted out are recalled, when the ones left behind become the ones who set the pace. I'm talking about a turnaround that doesn't just let you recover what you lost, but exposes the truth that you're thriving because of what happened, not in spite of it. That's reversal. They expected you to groan under the weight, but now you rise up under it, muscles forged by burdens, faith stretched until it holds a double portion. Let me break this down for you. The very pressure that was supposed to finish you is now the wind at your back. Right now, people remember your lowest moments. They replay stories of your breakdowns behind closed doors, whispering that you were done, that you'd never show your face again. But what they didn't see was the work happening in your shadow. While they cataloged your losses, God was writing up your re-entry. Your name is being spoken in places you've never set foot. Your reputation is being harvested from the ground up, all because you refuse to let the old narrative be final. You may have wept, you may have crawled, you may have hidden, but you did not die in your disappointment. You let the fire burn, and now the ashes turn to oil. Suddenly, overnight, the very things you were counted out for become your evidence. Let me tell you, every no that tried to bury you is about to sound like a yes that cannot be overturned. Now listen, vindication doesn't come loud and boastful. It comes in small victories, in visible health that outpaces your peers, in the spring in your step that defies your history, in public honor given by those who once doubted. Vindication comes when you walk into a room and eyes linger, not because of your mistakes, but because of the freshness you carry. Every scar they expected you to hide is now a badge of wisdom and survival. The calls you missed are being returned. Doors are opening that were never meant for you. Invitations come with your name printed first, not last, not as an afterthought. Vindication is restoration, one by one, so you can't deny it, so you can't say it's coincidence. Relationships they said were dead come alive. Connections that ghosted you circle back, asking what changed, what secret you discovered, what you know that they don't. And you stand, peaceful, knowing it was never cleverness but a covering. Let me take you inside a scene the world won't believe. There's an atmosphere around you now these days. When you laugh, it's deeper, it's freer, it leaves echoes behind you as you walk. When you sleep, you go down at night knowing you're not running to escape the past, but lying down in real safety, real hope. The cycles that threaten to keep you in survival mode, gone, broken, shattered with finality. You open your phone. Suddenly you see messages that used to skip your inbox, proposals that never found you before. The ones who rejected you the first time send a new invitation, no apology, just a door they hope you'll walk through. You walk down the street, and the very people who averted their eyes, who withdrew their approval, now meet your gaze, ashamed of their doubts, wishing they had believed. Vindication is not payback, it is evidence. Quiet, undeniable, relentless. The word is spreading. What tried to mark your end has just exposed your beginning. Let me press in on what happens after vindication, because God didn't restore you just so you could look good to the same people who once wrote you off. Now, right now, there is a new commission coming forth. There is work in your hands, an assignment sticky on your spirit, and this time you walk it with the authority only experience can give. Your scars are not for shame. They are proof to the hurting, to the forgotten, to the ones in the midnight hour, the ones trembling and wrung out and ready to quit. They will look at you and see what survival does. They'll see the years did not devour you, they multiplied you. Here's the commission. Go show them what God can do with dust, with rejection, with never again, with too late. You are the living testimony that timing is never up if heaven's breath is in your lungs. Let me tell you how powerfully your story will be used. Doors will open and people will ask you to explain yourself, your energy, your hope. They will confess, "I thought you were finished." They will come for your secrets, for your routines, but you will give them what they need. A living, breathing answer. I am still here because purpose won't let me age out, won't let me decay, won't let me wear the consequence of wars I didn't start. The ones you help, many of them will be strangers who come from dark places, desperate, barely holding on. Your presence alone will calm storms. You will pray for sick bodies that doctors sent home empty-handed. Healing will break out not because you have all the right words, but because victory rides with you. You will walk into workplaces where tension ruled and turnaround will begin by noon. Not because hierarchy changed, but because the favor around you shifts the balance of power. Now let me paint another scene. The commission isn't just public, it's personal. Under your roof there is going to be generational reversal. Children who watched you struggle will watch you win. Family who dismissed your warnings will hear your wisdom and cling to it. Patterns that held your bloodline hostage, early aging, early breaking, dying before dreams. These chokeholds are interrupted now. The prayers you prayed are seeds exploding underground and shoots are cracking the surface right now. Let me speak this clearly. What wasted your parents, what discouraged your siblings, what shortened lives in your history will not shorten you or those who come after you. Your commission is to be the interruption, the new timeline, the first of a long line of finishers. You will touch money and watch it multiply. What others grind for will find your hands unexpectedly. Blessings that seem unfair. Favor that draws suspicion. But it's real, and it's now. You will step in front of people and their perception of you will transform in moments. Respect grows, cynicism falls silent, and honor flows that money can't purchase or connections can't buy. Watch how what was denied to you at every other level is suddenly released. Approvals for what they told you was impossible. Partnerships you never applied for. Restoration of things stolen and broken. There will even be seasons when you look in the mirror and realize the person you see is younger in spirit, lighter in eyes, stronger in conviction than you've ever been. Proof that God's reversal is not just external but deep, written in the very cells of your being. Let me take you all the way to the closing decree, because right now as you receive these words, the commissioning is not a suggestion. It's an order from the throne room. This is your time to stand, not only for your own sake, but for everyone connected to your story. Every friend, every stranger, every silent sufferer who's been waiting for evidence that the cycle can be broken, that the curse can be reversed, that it is possible to survive the pit and climb back to purpose. Don't keep your miracle to yourself. Let it flow. Let it leak from your presence. Let it rewrite the forecast. You are not a fluke. You are not an accident. You are a template for what God is about to do on a mass scale. Fresh strength for the tired, renewal for the run-down, fresh assignments for the overqualified and overlooked. So now I decree it over you, sealed and unshakable. Let every spirit that tried to force you into decline tremble at this reversal. They planned your expiration, but heaven authored your acceleration. They set your sunset, but a new dawn broke out at your feet. They shamed your scars, but those very marks made you a magnet for miracles. They counted down your relevance, but now you overflow with wisdom and vigor and light. They denied you a platform. Now your voice rings out further than they ever imagined. They shut the doors, but you walk through new gates, uninvited and unstoppable. They derailed your path, but you arrive ahead of the timetable, blessed, bold, and brand new. They waited for proof you were finished. Now the world must acknowledge that you are God's evidence, alive and radiant, all things reversed, vindicated, recommissioned, suddenly, overnight, now. Let me take you deeper into this reversal, because it isn't just about the tables turning. It's about a divine upending so precise that everything they tried to calculate, everything they tried to lock you out of, now swings open with a recognition they can't explain and can't deny. Chosen one, you need to feel it. This isn't about simply bouncing back. It's about being established in a way that makes collapse impossible this time. Where before you were always bracing for the next blow, waiting for the next disappointment. Now you sense a strength underneath you that cannot be shaken, rooted, anchored, unwavering. The reversal is not plastic, it's bone deep, blood deep, written into the schedule of heaven for your life, programmed so that what once threatened to unravel you now becomes your evidence. Let me show you how this reversal works in real time. You walk into spaces where memories of your failures hang as heavy as humidity, and yet the narrative is interrupted. The air shifts. People who used to smirk or whisper now quiet themselves in your presence. Uneasy but aware of something they can't mock. Listen, vindication is not about flaunting what they did to you. It's about the tangible power that now goes with you wherever you show up. You start to notice that setbacks don't shake you like they used to. The stress doesn't imprint itself on your skin, the fear doesn't put shadows in your eyes. They remember your anxious seasons, your trembling phone calls, the days your hands wouldn't stop shaking when everything felt like it was collapsing. But the next time crisis comes, your posture is different. You move with a steadiness and people around you feel it. A peace cultivated from all those 3 a.m. wars, now solidified into your being. This is the reversal, not just returning to where you were, but becoming someone new, unhindered by what almost broke you. Every time you laugh now, it's a declaration that nothing they did could subtract your joy for good. Let me tell you, vindication grows roots in the practical things they watch and cannot argue. That health scare that was supposed to end you? You bounce back faster than the professionals predicted, charts confounding experts, wellness returning in a way math can't explain. The financial hole that was supposed to bury you? Suddenly the bills line up and get paid. Unexpected refunds, closed accounts reopening in your favor, opportunities materializing even while the market dips. Your relationships fractured by rumors and half-truths. Out of nowhere, loyalty returns. Friends defend your name in rooms you'll never enter. Invitations reappear, and the ones who left silently draw near again. Vindication is when everything you lost, God returns in a new form, so much so that you barely mourn what slipped away. You start to notice laughter where there was heaviness, love in places you wrote off as forever barren, new connections where you were isolated before. You realize you're sought out for counsel by the very ones who pitied you. It's not revenge, but appointment. Divine scheduling only God could orchestrate. Let me show you something that happens almost unnoticed. Your countenance changes. There's a radiance that can't be counterfeit. People comment that you seem lighter, younger, sharper, as if you've uncovered a secret formula. But you know there was no shortcut, only the fire and the wilderness, work that cannot be skipped. You don't deflect compliments anymore. Instead, you wear them as reminders that the years you withstood did not scar you like everyone predicted. Vindication is silent until it becomes undeniable. A steady recovery that stands as rebuttal to all the rumors, all the diagnoses, all the timelines set by people who had no authority over your future. Now listen to this, because this arc doesn't stop at personal restoration. It propels you into commission. You feel a pull you can't ignore. Purpose presses on you like new breath in old lungs. Suddenly you sense urgency to reach back and pull up others who are still drowning in what almost took you under. This new commission is not a suggestion. It's a command imprinted in the marrow of your spirit, a vision that cannot be unfelt or dismissed. Let me take you into your new assignment. You are called to be a lighthouse for those stuck in storms no one else acknowledges. You are required to stand as proof that agony isn't a life sentence, that lost years don't equal a lost destiny. There's someone who needs to see you walking in freedom after chains. They are waiting for evidence. Your story is not just comfort, it is prophecy for them, a signal that they too can get up and walk out of the tomb. Every time you show up at the meeting, the dinner table, the corner shop, your presence carries the weight of reversal. You are proof that curses can be broken, that failure is not hereditary, that decline does not have to be your final chapter. You are commissioned to disrupt every generational expectation. You will mentor without even trying. People watch how you move, how you handle pressure and delay, how you love without growing bitter, how you build when every voice said it was too late. Your life becomes a curriculum for those who never had a guide, who only saw breakdown modeled for them. Your consistency, your joy, your refusal to disintegrate is a wordless sermon that makes hope possible again. Young eyes study your resilience. Older hearts borrow your strength. Strangers draw near and confess the hidden pain they thought nobody would understand, because your survival makes their recovery believable. Let me tell you, your commission has dimensions. In your workplace, your transformation draws favor that you could never have engineered. People bring you problems because they trust your answer comes from a place deeper than strategy. It comes from survival, from knowing the God who raised you up. In your home, the legacy is changing. Children and siblings and partners are free to believe in tomorrow because you stopped rehearsing old griefs and started speaking of new beginnings. The air in your household is lighter, possibility takes root. And where fear used to gather, now hope gets a seat at the table. Your commission will stretch outside your circle. Even your enemies will benefit, though they never admit it. Neighborhoods see less violence, more unity, new opportunity rallying around your influence. This reversal isn't selfish, it multiplies. Your presence becomes safe harbor for the broken, for the tired, for those who have no reason left to believe. When anxiety fills a room, you shift the climate with a sentence, a prayer, a cool stillness that once eluded you in your own dark nights. Where decisions are being made, your voice brings clarity and peace. Where confusion reigned, now solution flows because wisdom follows you loyally. And now witness the closing movement of this decree. I speak not only restoration but multiplication. Double for your trouble. Restitution for all the years devoured by setbacks. Public honor in the very places where you were whispered about. Your hands will build what you didn't have energy for before. Your mind will conceive what exhaustion kept shoved in the corners. They will stand in awe not because you boasted, but because proof cannot be silenced any longer. I decree this over you. The reversal is complete, the vindication unlimited, the commission unstoppable. They watched for your regression, but you leapt forward past every expectation. They measured your scars, but counted only the surface, never realizing how deep your healing would go. They adjusted their posture for your funeral, but had to stand in ovation at your relaunch. They held back resources, but now blessing finds you without detour, without delay, without apology. They expected you to age out, to quiet down, to take a back seat. But you have become the central figure in the story heaven once told. They shut doors, you built new ones. They rehearsed your shame, but your name shines in rooms you never thought you'd reach. They tried to steal your youth, but you gained wisdom, radiance, and favor that never fade. They wanted you ordinary, but God made you a sign and a wonder, born for this hour, alive with purpose, crowned with renewal, unbreakable, undeniable, suddenly, overnight, now. Let me pull you even further into what this reversal truly means, deeper than what eyes see and deeper than what tongues can confess. Chosen one, you carry the evidence of an exchange the world doesn't understand, the kind of recovery that doesn't just erase old debts, but establishes a new economy of favor in your life. Right now, heaven is refusing to let your story remain unfinished. You wake up and sense authority has shifted. The atmosphere bends to you instead of breaking you. Suddenly, what resisted you begins to yield. Conversations go a new direction. Eyes that once rolled now fix on you, waiting for your word. They used to measure your future by your past wounds, but now they are forced to study your resilience, to relearn you. Listen, vindication isn't about applause or being paraded for sympathy. No. It's about the full circle moment that leaves you standing when every lie collapses under the weight of revelation. There's a clarity in you now that doesn't depend on who believes in you or who doubts. You step out your door with the knowledge that the lessons were never wasted. Every loss was tuition and you paid it in full. So now you collect the wisdom and wear it. Vehicles that used to break down right at the start are starting on the first turn now. Interviews you were denied are suddenly calling, not just offering a seat, but a voice at the table. Those who watched you struggle look for weakness, but they find you anchored, steadfast, unshaken, running laps on the very ground where you once crawled. Take a look at how people respond, not out of guilt, but out of genuine recognition. Invitations come that you didn't campaign for. You catch glances filled with questions. How did you last this long? How did you heal this deep? How are you lighter in this heavy decade? The rumors that defined you are dying out, replaced by testimonies you didn't even need to speak yourself. Doors that slammed, locked, and were triple bolted now open with the very people who opposed you holding them wide. I need you to realize vindication is not just about reclaiming your position, but about stepping into territories your enemies never dreamed had your name on them. This is holy laughter, not arrogance. This is what happens when the script changes and heaven flips scenes in front of every critic. Let the memory be clear. They watched you in ashes, but now they must watch you carry oil. Let's linger here, because in this new place the pace picks up. Those long periods of waiting where nothing broke loose, those were not wasted. Delay harvested strength in you, skill sets no one saw developing. You walk into opportunity and realize you're more ready than anyone else in the room because you built endurance in silence, quietly. You're not daunted by challenges because desperation once forced you to solve problems no one dared to face. Others see the finished table, but only you and God remember when you had to pray for every leg, every screw, every slab of wood. Revival bursts out of places where you least expected. Growth springs up from corners everyone else abandoned. There are doors now swinging that lead to spaces above your qualification, where the only explanation for your entrance is the favor that rests on you. Bold, undeniable, and envied. Let me show you how a real commission works. This calling on your life is not politely whispered. It comes at you now with the force of a tidal wave. Each time you try to shrink or disappear, the responsibility grows louder. You were spared for a reason, not just to enjoy better days, but to be the bridge for others. Your life is draft and blueprint. There are souls God trusted to your scars, people appointed for your path, chosen for your story, waiting for your yes because your yes unlocks their hope. Promotions, fresh connections, surprise opportunities, they are your tools, not your trophies. Favor follows you not so you can collect it, but so you can distribute it. This is why you feel the urge to give, to serve, to lead, to comfort. This is the power of commission. Your hands multiply what touches them. Your words heal more than silence can destroy. You'll notice what once felt like a curse now becomes your pulpit. The very hardships people despised in you, the seasons that looked like waste, now offer the clearest message. God can trust you with survival, and God can trust you with increase. Every time you share the unpolished truth, somebody's in the crowd breathing again, standing up one more time, looking for the next chance. The commission isn't about platform or fame, it's about attention to the overlooked, about opening your table for the hungry and the haunted. Money arrives as a resource, not a ruler. Promotion comes as a megaphone, not a prison. Your credibility isn't based on flawless records, but on scars that refused infection and grew new skin. You speak, and the words land because people see you paid for them with your own tears. Let me show you another dimension. Your reversal is contagious. People around you begin to sense doors opening for them. Businesses started in your wake experience unexplainable favor. Marriages heal because they see reconciliation worked in you. Your apology, your forgiveness, your fight for something better. Discredited relatives receive calls out of nowhere. Estranged children stumble home. Once closed hearts beat softer and newer in your presence. You hold space for family and friends, and God multiplies your little and makes it enough for many. Your workplace becomes less toxic. Old feuds evaporate, cultures shift, and people volunteer to help. Not because rules changed, but because your endurance has shifted the climate. The commission doesn't let you sit comfortable. It puts you in the thick of need, and still you overflow. Now let me take you closer to the closing cadence, this final decree. Every missed opportunity is being reissued with interest. Each refusal will be answered with a double invitation. Every silent season will be shouted over with celebration you never could have scripted. Where you were the quiet observer, recording victories for others, now you're the case study. The living, breathing evidence that it is never too late for God to turn a whole history on its head. The weight you bore becomes the wind behind you, the very thing that pushes you through doors now propped open for your arrival. Let me break this into the foundation of your future. You will not repeat cycles that drained generations before you. Family legacies of quitting and compromise snap on your watch. Your offspring, biological, spiritual, emotional, are stamped with a resilience they caught from you, not inherited from defeat. Old records of early death, burnout, and frustration will show their last entries with you. You are the new starting line. You are the first of many finishers. You will heal where hospitals gave up, thrive where businesses failed, love where relationships imploded. You are the proof that time and trouble do not have the last word. Stones they stacked to build your tomb are the same stones you'll use as a foundation for what's next. I decree over you now with the full force of authority and compassion. They built obstacles, but now you walk on them. They circulated rumors, but now you live as the undeniable evidence against every lie. They signed you up for heartbreak, but you turned it into overflow. They believed your end had come, but you were just in rehearsal for an even brighter unveiling. They tallied your weaknesses, but God delivered double in every area that lacked. They waited to inherit your leftovers, but you gather a harvest that feeds more than your house. They prepared a short script for your story, but the author has expanded your pages, multiplied your chapters, set you as a beacon for weary travelers. They said your voice would fade, but now your testimony is a trumpet, rallying armies of the battered back to hope. They prepared for your decline, but heaven reserved your ascension. They set an expiration date, but eternal purpose overruled it overnight. They hoped you would grow bitter, but your joy keeps rising, stronger every day. They underestimated your recovery, but you've built a legacy of resilience that stands the test of fire and of time. They tried to erase you, but God inscribed you in permanent divine ink, on hearts, on records, on destinies here and now, irreversibly. All the years restored, all the favor returned, all the family lines revived, right now, suddenly, overnight, forever.